he's the legendary like evil hunter scientist to the monsters because it actually proves that they are conscious.
Are they vampires or are they zombies? He would not be the legend if he wasn't. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Film Fan Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Fortenberry, a.k.a. Sam Elliott's Mustache.
And I'm his co-host, Colby Dungan, a.k.a. his co-host.
Keep in mind while listening, we are not professional film critics, nor do we pretend to be.
We're just some normal guys doing reviews of movies.
All right, we got a great show coming up for you guys. We have Movie of the Week, Top 3, and Cinema Trivia.
Be warned, the podcast you're about to hear has spoilers.
Okay, Colby, what's this episode about, man? Why are we doing this? Why do we do this to ourselves? Who am I? Do people watch the show? Like, do they actually enjoy it?
We love movies. We love being super dorks about it. We love diving in and seeing all the secret stuff that may or may not be there and making ourselves feel good about that.
Yeah, and it's fun to talk about, and it's fun to think about, and people that don't, whatever.
If I think, I am.
Therefore I am, yeah. Confucius say. Yeah, it was probably some famous Stoic like said that. Yeah.
Some smart guy.
All right, let's get on with it. This next bit is called the
Movie of the Week.
Movie of the Week is a segment where my co-host and I watch a movie during the week, try to keep an open mind, and just talk about it.
And the movie of the week is I Am Legend.
What a movie. All right. Colby, you want to give us a quick summary?
In this post-apocalyptic action thriller, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Neville, Will Smith's character, an army virologist, spends his days trying to find a cure for a virus that wiped out most of humankind. With something lurking in the shadows, Neville is now the last human survivor in what is left of New York City. Hoping that he finds a cure or another human leads us to the question, what else will he discover?
This movie was released in 2007. It has a film rating of PG-13 for intense sequences of sci-fi action and violence. It was directed by Francis Lawrence, also known for all of the Hunger Games movies, Constantine, Red Sparrow, Water for Elephants, and Slumberland. It was written by Richard Matheson, who wrote the novel, Mark Protasevich, and Akiva Goldsman. It stars Will Smith, Alice Braga, and Charlie Tahan. Or Tahan, however you say it. It got 68% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, and has 9 award wins with 23 nominations. Let's talk about this movie, Colby. We got a lot to unfold here. I mean, we got a ton to unfold here. And the big question we're covering here is which ending was the best, okay? For those of you who don't know, there was an alternate ending to this movie, and it has been debated for years. And with the second movie that's supposed to be in production, it's kind of a big deal, But we'll get to that. First, we're going to talk about the movie. So, overall take, Colby. Let's talk about it, man.
So, if my memory serves me well, which it doesn't too often these days, I'm pretty sure I went and saw this with my little group of friends for I might have been 13, 14. Yeah. We went and saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like a super nostalgic childhood memory, my first exposure to it. I remember when I first saw it as a kid, I loved it. I loved Will Smith growing up. Will Smith he's went a little sideways this second half of his career with some personal drama, and, he's kind of become the butt of a lot of jokes, that we can or cannot get into. But childhood Will Smith, was before kind of the cracks in the wall kind of started to show in his personal life stuff. Yeah. But Will Smith was the man. Yeah. Will Smith was family-friendly action star. Will Smith was awesome. My mom loved Will Smith. I thought this is textbook prime of his career action drama. I thought he was great. I love the dystopian kind of post-apocalyptic New York City scenery and stuff like that. I love all the broken down cars and the tunnels, and you got wildlife running through the streets that's absolutely not supposed to be there. Thought it was really cool. I thought it really set the scene for the movie. I love the visually striking rundown New York City. Thought it was super cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a great film. I mean, it has a lot. This movie was one of those that they had planned on making in the late 90s and releasing in the early 2000s. And it had a lot of people that they had in line to direct it that are famous directors. Ridley Scott was supposed to be one of them, apparently.
Oh, that would have been good.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was almost one of the actors that played Robert Neville. There was a lot of different people.
Glad they went a different direction than Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, they could have gone a lot of... I want to say that... what's his name? Nicolas Cage was considered for the role. There was like a lot of different people that they had plans for this movie, and every time that it was about to be made again, that director would go do some other famous movie that came out that they were like, no, I'm going to go do this. So I'm glad it got put off that long, because this was actually made 2 other times that a lot of people don't know about. So there was the Omega Man in 1971 that took place in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. And The Last Man on Earth in 1964, it was filmed in Italy. And I think it was an Italian film.
I think I've heard of that one, but I don't think I ever saw it.
So these are all based off of the book that that writer I mentioned earlier, who was somebody. What was that guy's name?
Richard Matheson.
Yeah, Richard Matheson. So he wrote the book, and then there's been several adaptations since. And I definitely think that this one is the best. I mean, it's not entirely correct, but as far as like a movie about that has the same similar traits, this is the best.
I agree with you in terms of it needed a little bit of extra help on the CGI.
Yeah.
In order to get the monsters, the Dark Seekers.
Yeah.
If this would have been made in the 90s, it would have been tough,
right?
Those would have been all.
Well,
who knows? They might have made the most
I mean,
of it
there was like
practical.
Lord of the Rings was being made in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And even I guess Star Wars. When the
it's hard to say how it would have come out better, but going back and watching it, CGI. I mean, now because it's 2025, they look a little outdated. The other monsters, but at the time, I thought they looked great.
Yeah, they had apparently like a huge crew of CGI people working on this. I don't forget the number. It's like 300. It's some insane amount of people worked on all these extra little Darkseeker characters.
Yep.
Little side story about this movie. So this movie haunted me as a kid. And I hadn't even seen it yet. My best friend back in the day went and watched it at the movies with his mom and one of his friends, and it was rated PG. Like we would just turn PG-13, just turned 13, so it was that time period where we were like, "Oh, we can finally watch these kind of movies." But he described it to me, and the way he described it to me, I couldn't for weeks couldn't sleep, dude. I hadn't even seen it yet. I'd seen the trailer, and that was it, and that was all it took for me. I was like, nope. These things can get in your house. They track you down.
Being the only thing alive, especially the whole night thing. They only come out at night. That's always spooky. Essentially a zombie horde.
Right. That's another question I want to ask you. Okay. All right. So just getting into it. Sorry to cut you off. But
great.
Are they vampires or are they zombies?
In kind of looking up some stuff about the movie, I heard you hear different people kind of refer to them as vampires. I think they're definitely more. I think they're closer to zombies than vampires.
Interesting.
But no, as I say it, because the only come out at night thing.
Yeah.
But they eat people, but zombies eat people.
Yeah. So they don't suck blood or anything.
But
they're the sunlight, right?
Really, the only thing that's going for them in the vampire space is the sunlight, is the UV exposure.
Well, the other thing you could argue is whenever he captures the female, he uses a vial of his blood, and he breaks the vial of blood to attract them out.
Yeah, but I thought that was just because he has the. Is it because he's vaccinated, or is it because he's immune somehow? He has a natural immunity. Yeah. So I thought he was just trying to essentially import that.
I don't know.
I guess, that's the point. That's the question.
Y'all write in the comments what y'all think.
There we go.
We'll put a poll. How about that? Are they zombies or are they
I don't know if they need... No.
Because
I don't know. I don't know.
It's tough. Good. They're kind of a mixture.
Yeah. They're dark seekers.
Okay. Oh, all right. So we already talked about the overall take. What would you say the general themes of this movie are? Because I wrote some stuff down. Usually you go over the themes and you're really good at hitting it on the nail. I just wanted to see what your idea of it was.
I think so. Neville's character definitely sees himself. He sees himself as potentially responsible for the outbreak. So he definitely takes he's trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
He's trying to save the world. He feels like it's something he was, responsible for creating and enacting. So therefore he feels the need to go the hero route to save the world, to make up for his wrongs. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of there's a big hopelessness theme, like where does the mind go when you're completely alone and isolated, and you kind of start to lose hope for, are you ever going to get to have a conversation again?
You're hitting it at you got
all that. I thought that was really portrayed really well when he's going through his daytime operations, and he's kind of has routes set up to where he can kind of trick himself into. He's going to the movies. He's named the different characters.
Right.
He's having talks with his dog, about should I hit on that girl? I'm scared to say,
I'll
and
talk to her later. I'll talk.
There's definitely some onset subtle mental illness kind of on the way just from being alone for so long. He's kind of starting to. Which he's starting to lose his mind, which goes into some stuff I'll talk about later. But yeah, I dig definitely that.
There was what kind of led me into it. Right at the beginning of the movie, there was a sign that after his car passed it, there was a sign that said "God still loves us," right? And later on in the movie, you see that a lot of it's actually about faith. One of the things that I wrote was hope and loss, so hopelessness, essentially, like you said, faith and loneliness or isolation, and I think those are the essential elements of this movie. You see it through the entire
100%.
thing. It's post-apocalyptic. It's dark. It's dreary, and there's a lot of dread. Waiting to see these characters, these monsters. You hear them screeching and all this stuff, but you don't see them for a good portion of the movie.
Starts off, it's all his daytime stuff, and it's setting you up for what does this guy do every day when he's alone in the biggest metropolitan area in our society, in our current society, New York City. And it's setting the scene, but something has gone horribly wrong. What is out there? Mm-hmm. What's the big scare? What's he scared of? Why is he doing all this preparation? Why is he why's he got to be so precise and technical in his security protocols? And what must he know? He knows he's facing a very scary threat.
Right. And this last time I watched it, I paid a little bit more attention to some of the finer details, I think. He had several cars. That's something that I didn't pick up on any time I had ever watched it. I knew he had one or two. But whenever he opens the closet right next to his front door, if you see the key rack on there, there's 50 keys right there. And he's got all these cars lined up outside.
I guess I never looked at him as all his potential cars, Off the head, I would have said two. The Mustang and the utility truck that he's got all the stuff on. But now that you say that, okay. I just thought maybe he had just all keys to all kinds of different locks, and maybe he had different little safe houses.
That may be it too. It may just be the houses, whatever, Colby.
Well, I don't. You might be right.
No, I mean, it's a good point. I just thought it was the cars that are parked out there. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the cars had the bombs in them.
Maybe.
Well, no, they came from underground. I don't know. I think it's for the cars that are parked out front. Just kind of as a. Anyways.
Well, I mean, shoot, what would you do if you were alone in New York City with all these?
You'd have to move the
I'd
cars.
be like, bro, I want the cool Mustang. I want the Lambo. I want the awesome utility zombie-proof truck with the giant.
Who has that in New York City?
100%.
But,
Hey, you gotta live a little when you're alone.
Something I think they get wrong in movies a lot, especially the post-apocalyptic, is the use of gasoline. And you see it in, the TV series Walking Dead. They use gasoline for 10 years after everything went to crap. Gasoline does not last that long without gelling up, So something I found interesting about this, it's 3 years. So he's right at the very end of when gasoline would be used.
Where he
Anyways,
has to start
if he
seeking
took
alternatives.
put the proper enzyme stuff in, whatever it is that makes it last longer when you use it for wintering. So you had 3 generators running. You're wondering, where does the power come from? Like, I think about all this stuff with the post-apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's so fake.
They
man.
definitely
Like,
have to make some creative jumps in order to just kind of send the plot forward.
Right, but I think this is as close as you could possibly get. I wish they would have done like 2 years or something. That'd have been a little bit more realistic. But even so, it's he's getting towards the end of it either way. So if it is 3 years and it's like barely running at this point, they don't show that. But if you know anything, then there's that high potential for him to be like, okay, I'm almost out of like gasoline that's usable. I think it does show him pumping gasoline out of one of the gas stations at one point too.
Yeah, it does. It would kind of like, it's not really mentioned, but it would kind of speed up whatever little kind of process we're hitting at of like, I'm running out of time,
Yeah, it's very
definitely
subtle.
become more
If
stressed
it is
out.
something they thought about. It's very subtle.
Start to make mistakes in his protocols, which obviously he does.
Yeah. Dude, what was your favorite scene in this movie?
Oh man, it's heartbreaking.
Oh,
It's heartbreaking.
that's your favorite scene?
I mean, it's
You
favorite scene and best scene. I think it's the best scene.
Okay,
Maybe, I'd say.
that's fair.
I think like the best scene, like most heart-wrenching scene is when he unfortunately has to kill his dog, Sam, his beloved dog, Sam.
Man.
And you want to talk about, dude, we all got dogs. I got a dog. I love my dog more than anything in this world. I would hope he's got my back like Sam has Will Smith's character's back. 3 dogs. The dog takes out 2 of them. Mm-hmm. 2 out of 3, dude. Zombie hellhounds. 100%. Like, I just love any time they implement the dog, like the dog companion, post-apocalyptic. Absolutely love that. Favorite scene, best scene, whatever, however you want to call it. But I thought that was the most like emotionally impactful scene of that, because that was his only friend. He was all alone. He was starting to lose hope. I mean, he's literally... That was his best friend in the world and his companion through it all. Raised her since she was a puppy.
So I'm kind of in the same boat, but it wasn't where she died or anything. It was the scene where they're chasing the deer, and the deer goes inside the building, and then Sam follows the deer into the building.
Yep.
And then he's like freaking out.
Everything goes wrong.
Because this is literally the point in the movie where everything changes.
It seems like he's in full control of the situation up until this point.
Yeah.
He's mastered surviving on his own. He's got
even with the
protocols and
stuff,
timelines. He's fully adjusted.
Yeah.
He's like, you're like, oh, you can't kill this guy. He's fully mastered the apocalypse until this scene. And you see his fear, his dread, how terrified he is walking into that.
That's what I'm talking about. I remember my buddy was telling me about the movie and saying the emotion on his face was so real in that scene. And so when I watched it and I'm like, already have that in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is such good acting. Can you imagine how you would act in the situation where your dog, your only friend in the entire world for the last 3 years, is about to get eaten by monsters and you don't want to die either? What is the
most
emotion gonna be
valuable
on your
asset
face?
to you has basically now, without realizing it, now you are simultaneously in the belly of the beast.
Yes.
So you are completely emotionally torn from just being able to leave to protect yourself and self-preservation versus I can't let my best friend die.
Yeah.
Essentially. So he can't leave. He won't allow himself to leave because he's so attached to Sam, rightfully so.
Right.
And he fully knows that.
He's sitting there talking to himself saying, I gotta go, like
rocking a hard place to a T.
Yeah. So don't want to ruin what happens at that point, but that's a great scene. Watch for that one. You can't miss it. That's a good one. Do you have any kind of information on how they might have made this movie? Because there's some stuff, man. They did quite a bit of interesting things.
I don't. I'm not the greatest with how they made the movie kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is more my
or as
line.
far as like that's not. I don't go and seek that information as much as I probably should. What you got though?
Okay, so for me, this is what I found interesting. Will Smith actually got a lot of middle fingers making this movie, because every weekend they had to get a new permit, like for each weekend that they were filming it, because they only had one day for a section of New York that they were filming at, like on each street, to do the car scenes.
Yeah.
So they
had to shut it down.
They had to shut it down, right? And they're driving around. He's driving around New York, and this very small sections that are shut off. And New York's New York. It's happening. Like there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
So but how do you make New York look empty?
How do you make it look dead?
Yeah. So shot by shot, they had to empty it out for each corner that he was driving on, and bring in the foliage and bring in stuff. And I'm sure a lot of it was like superimposed or whatever on the buildings and stuff.
Yeah, they can
later,
they can artificially add like wear and tear
Right.
and stuff like that. But still, just think about all the money that must have cost.
Dude,
God,
an insane amount of money.
Pissed.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, a lot of effort went into this movie.
Anything in the big cities,
Yeah. So I don't know. I know at the time when they were filming like a lot of Marvel movies and stuff, like the mayor of New York City was like big fan of whatever. So they're cool with it. But like this is just one of those random movies. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah, random apocalypse movie in my city. Don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
that would be really tough. It's a lot of litigation and bureaucracy they probably had to go through. Sounds like a nightmare.
One of the other things was they actually used a mime for one of the mannequins. So you've never heard about the mannequin that moves. It does, dude. If you go back and you watch the scene where...
Well, I know there's the one that moves... What's his face, right? Frank?
Yeah, or Fred. Is it Fred or Frank?
I thought it was Frank.
Frank moves.
Yeah.
You've seen his head. You saw his head move, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely it does.
I didn't know how they did it. I wasn't sure how the movie tied it, but it definitely makes a subtle move. And that's why he
turns
loses his mind.
Yes. So he's already going crazy because he hadn't seen people in forever. But they did that and it was so subtle when you're watching it on a big screen first time, you kind of second guess it yourself. You're like, did that mannequin just move? But they used a mime for that scene, or that little shot specifically, put a human in it, and then as soon as they change the shot, where he's getting out of the car and everything, it's a mannequin again, obviously.
So,
they used a human, put a human in it made it
when
look like a
when you're
mannequin.
first watching it, I thought they put that in there when I first watched it, I thought, okay, obviously it seems like the Dark Eaters are getting smarter, with this new exposure. Obviously they learn a lot between his first interaction with them to that part.
Yeah.
And my mind first went to they're pulling on it somehow or they're manipulating it somehow. But thinking about it, I feel like it is in there. They put that in there more to show he's slipping. He's starting to actually lose his mind. Things are moving that aren't moving. Things are talking that aren't talking. It really shows that he's really retracting into his fear and hopelessness.
Yeah,
and he's starting to lose his mind.
Because at that point, he did not move the mannequin, right? Anywhere. He saw Frank the same place every single day. And then Frank is like now in the middle of the street at a spot he's never been before. And so his brain is like, oh my God, Frank's alive.
Will Smith's brain explodes in that scene, which is why he makes so many mistakes in his protocols.
Right.
100%.
Dude, but so good. Getting chills thinking about it. I thought it was great. I was like, man, why have I never seen this
The
part
movie
before?
downshifts in that moment. It's like, okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and then that's when you see the dogs and everything. But creative shots, transitions, artsy stuff. There wasn't a lot of that. I would say that there was more flashbacks, good use of flashbacks throughout this movie.
Love the flashbacks.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for flashbacks.
I am too, yeah. And next episode we actually talk a lot about flashbacks, so y'all just get ready for that one. It's gonna be a banger. But yeah, flashbacks in this, good use of it, and
they answer a lot of they set up his character and why he's why he's doing what he's doing, why he's so emotionally traumatized, why he feels like he needs to kind of be a hero to redeem himself.
Right, and they don't reveal too much too quickly. They
do it in portions.
Yeah,
they give you,
and it makes you wonder what happens. It makes you hold on a little bit longer. Yep, it's very good with retention.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I was already going to ask the most memorable scene from the movie, but I want to backtrack real quick. So I did write in my notes.
What you got?
In the book, so in regards to are they vampires or are they zombies?
Ooh.
People who died of the disease returned to life as vampires, retaining their human-like appearance. Like traditional vampires, they dislike garlic and mirrors, hunt the living, and die from a stake through the heart. So,
It sounds like based on the source material.
the source material, they're vampires.
Okay.
In this, though, just fuel for the fire for you guys that are actually tracking on this and actually want to answer the poll or put a comment or make a presentable argument. They're vampires in the book. So,
I think they should have just made them more vampire-y then.
Well, I like that they gave them some intelligence. Not too much though, because then they're not monsters. They're more like they can be reasoned with almost. And they can't be reasoned with. They're almost animalistic.
Yeah, I think that's definitely where my interpretation came from, whether it was right or wrong, was zombies are more in the unthinking monster, just a unrelenting force that can't be reasoned with and can't be negotiated with, as opposed to most of the time when we see vampires, they are just a dark human, like a dark human with superhuman, powers and strength or whatever. But for the most part, they're still like well-dressed and can talk, and you know what I mean. They're not so much this unthinking monster.
Yeah.
But I don't know if maybe they did that for mass appeal, or just some creative choices in there. But now that you say that, I mean, hey, I'm all about the source material. I'm all about the lore. If they're vampires in there, then they're vampires.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. But with more arguments just taking place, I do want to get to the point of this argument, like the main ultimate one. The new movie that's coming out, I'm going to make an outlandish claim here. It shouldn't exist. Should not exist.
Why do you say that?
Because the alternate ending was an alternate ending. Okay? He would not be the legend if he wasn't dead and discovered the vaccine to save the Dark Seekers. Okay? So in my mind...
Ooh, I got one for you.
Well, you see what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's cool that they're bringing back a movie. And don't get me wrong. I like that they're bringing back Will Smith's character as Robert Neville. And they're bringing in Michael B. Jordan in this next one. But,
oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. I don't know who he's going to play. I mean, who knows? But I don't know. Like, what is it even going to be about? I mean, obviously, he didn't discover the vaccine in this alternate world that they want to do. So they're still fighting the Dark Seekers and stuff.
Quick, because I haven't seen a lot about the sequel, but what you're saying is the premise of the sequel's existence is they're going with the alternate ending?
They have to be. That's the only way. Yeah, because he dies.
So, yes. And I get to branch off of that because I am a big fan of I think they should have went with the alternate ending. Definitely, it's the better one. Wow. And because I think it actually hits the theme of the music, and he is, in the alternate ending, he is the legend, the one where he doesn't die, because he's a legend, but who's he a legend to? He's the legendary, like, evil hunter scientist to the monsters, because it actually proves that they are conscious and they do still have like human traits, because like they literally come to rescue his lady, 100%.
I don't know.
So
that's it.
So according to them, the Dark Seekers, he is the legendary villain.
He's
the hunter of New York City who hunter. Like comes and kidnaps our babies and kidnaps our and experiments on our live people.
Yeah, because he does have like pictures on the wall and stuff.
There's like 50 of them.
You're right. In the alternate ending, he does look up at the pictures and almost like shame.
The alternate ending shifts it to where he was obviously he's trying to be the hero and do the right thing for humans, but it's only under the premise that they are not human anymore. All his actions are based on that they are not human.
Well, he does think that they're not human, at least through the majority of the movie. He even says that in his digital
Yeah, he's
journal.
like, yeah, and they have ceased to show human characteristics or whatever.
So,
so it depends on how you want to go with it.
It depends on how... Okay, so I will say this. In the theatrical release, we're going back to the theme of faith. So he didn't believe in God. He didn't believe in nothing. He was like, there is no God. That scene was very powerful, by the way. Absolutely. That was like intense, man.
Yeah, that's kind of where you start to, at least for me, you're fully on his side, but at that point you kind of like, maybe this guy doesn't have all the answers. Because he's kind of like, he's had no choice in his isolation and hopelessness to kind of give up on God, faith. He's fully transitioned to this like kind of pessimistic, like, extremely. I'm just going to grind it out.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I have to find the cure. This is all on me. Why would I rely on God who has allowed this to happen, right?
Yep.
But at the end of the theatrical release, he sees the butterfly on the girl's neck.
Yep.
Sees the butterfly on the door that's glass or plexiglass. It's
like butterfly wings.
Right? And then it shows a flashback of his daughter saying, look, Dad, it's a butterfly. Right?
Yes.
So, and then in that moment, he's like, oh my God, I get it now. This is why I'm here. This is why you're here. The colony does exist.
Sacrifice for the greater good.
Yes. So it makes sense that would be the real ending. An ending meaning it ends. And there's no more. He is the legend.
I think it's way more thematically suitable for the alternate ending because it shows that he actually did lose the point in his free fall of his like mental state. He lost the plot. He lost the whole point of it all, and he was cruel and he was trying to do the right thing, but he ended up being wrong. And like that's why. I think he realized he messed up, and he literally says, I'm sorry.
So what is the second one going to be about then? I mean,
that's
what I'm saying, though. Like, it just doesn't make sense. If he feels so bad about it, and he's like, I'm not coming up with a vaccine no more. I don't care. No big deal. Then what is the movie going to be about? Dr. Robert Neville is now just in this colony. It's going to be like a drama about them like what? Like
I agree that the
treaties and stuff or something.
I agree that the existence of the sequel does like that. You have to go with the alternate ending for it to even exist because obviously he dies. You said that.
Now, however, one thing I will say this. They did this with A Quiet Place Part 2. We knew that Dad was coming back from the first one, right? And he died in the first one.
Yeah.
Right? But we were like, how is he going to be in the second one? But then it was like pre the alien invasion. So he was still in the second movie. So it could be that he's not going to be the main character.
Well, if they're bringing in Michael B. Jordan.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He may not be the main character of the entire movie, and it may just be like him being in it briefly.
Isn't Michael B. Jordan kind of the modern Will Smith?
Oh, that's debatable.
Right?
That's debatable.
Doesn't he kind of hold that place, though?
I mean,
if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean.
He does.
I can't think of anybody else.
He kind of holds that place as like,
yeah.
He obviously, I love Michael B. Jordan. I think he's awesome.
It took me a while, but I'm on boat. I'm on the boat. Yeah, like he's cool.
He kind of serves that spot, that role. And so it makes sense that they would kind of, is he a young Robert Neville? And it's like I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go
So
with it.
That's what I'm saying. They could do anything with the second one, but in the off chance that Will Smith is the main character of the second movie, I don't like it because it changes the good ending, quote unquote.
Not the good ending.
The alternate ending. It changes the alternate ending from being like, whatever they were trying to portray as like he is the villain or whatever to like, all right, I'm going to go back to trying to find a cure now that I'm in this safe place or something like that. Well, who knows? I don't know.
It's not as big of a stretch, I think, though, because he saw where he went wrong in trying to save the day. He got too locked in and his mental state fell. And then he's trying to right his wrongs, but this time, hopefully the right way. Yeah. Like he was experimenting on him while they still had like feelings.
All right, we'll put this as a poll too, or you can just comment either way.
Hashtag alternate ending is better.
Which ending was better? The original theatrical release or the alternate ending that you could only see on DVD? Just a question.
Or YouTube.
All right.
You can just look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, you can look it up on YouTube. That's fine. Yeah. All right, we're going to rate this movie. Scale of 1 to 10. What we got? Colby, what you going to give it?
I give it a 7.
What? You gave The Fountain 7.5 and you give I Am Legend a 7?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. I did.
You're blowing my mind right now, dude.
I think The Fountain has more. This isn't about The Fountain. Yeah, it's not about comparing.
All right. Yeah, you're right.
I just think that it's more or less a straightforward post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't. Yes, it has these themes that we spoke about, which they were executed decently. It's not a perfect movie. I like the action scenes. I like the how they kind of hold the mystery, and then they really hit the gas on it. I like the secondary characters they brought in, the mom and son. I loved how genuine the mother character is and her steadfast faith, which kind of helps him to see the light, and definitely leads to the whichever way he went about, whichever ending is your preference. But at the end of the day, she heavily influenced his kind of heroism. In that moment, and kind of helped him kind of get back in his humanity and being okay, yes, I see the point, kind of now. I think it's solid. I don't think it's perfect. Will Smith's pretty cool in it. I like the monsters. I like the alpha. I thought he was pretty intimidating. Just solid 7. Solid 7.
All right, I'll let it be.
What are you going to go?
I'll get there, but I do want to say this one thing. So you said... It just brought things kind of back when you said that she brought him back to the light. The end of the movie, literally the last thing they say is light up the darkness. So
here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. See, I channeled that to him. Yeah. See, that's how in sync we are. That's why we're...
I gave it an 8 out of 10. Believe it or not. I love this movie, dude.
Finally got him at least an 8.
I love this movie. It's such a good one, man. It's one of those I can watch with my kids. I know I let my kids watch scary movies. Whatever, sue me. I don't care.
It ain't that scary.
They love scary movies, and this is a good one, man. This is a good movie.
It is good.
You've never seen it, and you're listening to this podcast. You can go watch it. Okay, actually, that's a great segue. While we don't have a sponsor for this episode, we do have something that might interest you. Amazon Prime.
You can sign up for a 30-day free trial at Prime Video by following the link in the description.
This gives you access to a wide range of entertainment options, and it's a way to support us as well.
If you're looking to rent this specific movie, we've included a link for that too, making it just a bit more convenient for you.
If you're already a Prime member, simply click our link when you want to watch. Even if the movie is covered by your membership, your support helps us out.
All right, and it's time for
the top 3.
This is a piece where we choose the top 3 of some category and order them accordingly, with number 1 being the best. The category for this episode is Will Smith's Best Acting.
That's a mouthful. Will Smith's Best Acting.
Will Smith.
What you got for your number 3, Colby?
All right, number 3, Will Smith's Best Acting.
Best Acting.
All right, so for number 3, I went with Ali, the one where the Muhammad Ali biopic. I thought he was pretty solid in that. I just thought he was really good. I think it was 2001 was when it first came out.
Okay. I've never seen the movie, but I've seen trailers. I've seen
super
clips.
good. It's more. Good. It's Will Smith more in his dramatic bag. He's a lot more serious. It's not necessarily comedic or anything like that. But I thought it's a biopic. They're not all going to be perfectly believable, but I thought it was one of his. Thought it was one of his better dramatic performances.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What's your number 3?
Number 3 is The Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay,
that is up there.
Beautiful,
definitely one of the better ones he's made.
Pizza.
It's such a good. Yeah, it's so pizza. It's so pizza, dude. No, it's very dramatic movie. Happiness, pursuing happiness.
Yep.
Trying to figure it out, and it's. Yeah, man. He uses, his actual sons in the movie, which I think makes it even all the more real for the people that are watching. Struggling
Absolutely.
dads out there, you know it, you get it, you know how it is, trying to make a living. It's tough. And
Beautiful movie.
Yes, it's so good. All right, what's your number 2?
Number 2, I went with Focus, the one he's in with Margot Robbie. It's kind of the betting, like the betting movie where he's like they take a super.
It's kind of like a heisty movie almost, or like a
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say heisty, but they are like robbing people and tricking people out of money with their like.
What do you call that? I can't think of the word.
I don't really know, but he's got a super like statistical based approach, to the whole thing, and he's just like basically outsmarting people the whole movie.
Right? Yeah, it's
and Margot Robbie.
It's been a while.
What about you? What's your number 2?
Number 2 is I Am Legend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the scene we talked about earlier is one of my favorites. So
solid. God, the dog scene stays with me. I love my dog. God. Yeah. That's my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah. No, Sam's awesome in that movie. He actually tried to adopt that dog.
I love that so much.
Yeah. The trainer wouldn't let him though. He's like,
it's hard to let a dog like that go.
He's like, no, this is my dog.
No, dude, I know she's awesome. I know.
Oh man. What's your number 1?
Number 1, Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, okay.
that was my quick number 1 when I was reading through our stuff and when I went to make this list. That was instantly, without thinking, number 1. I remember watching that with my mom. For context, it was just me and my mom growing up, so obviously didn't do the whole dad thing. But you want to talk about like we really leveled with each other on that. We cried when I was a kid and watching it. As you mentioned before, with his own son, just like picks himself up from the bottom and really makes his way. And I remember when he's asking, like right when it really starts to hit the fan, he's hit that guy up, and it's like he's hitting the guy up for like $4,
right,
or something.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, you owe me that money,"
yes.
And he's like desperate, and the guy's like, "Dude, it's like no, dude, it's $4. I'm not paying you back." But he's like, I need that $4. You don't understand. I'm not doing it any service. But if you've seen the movie, you know the scene.
Yeah.
He's good, man.
My favorite line is when he's talking to his kid, and he's like, don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't do something.
Yep.
Not even me. And I was like, oh, man, that's so good. It's chills.
Like you get it. Yeah, almost like the best way to parent is actually to like, almost get ahead of even yourself. And like even I'm gonna forget.
Your ego.
I'm gonna forget, but right now I know that I'm gonna forget. So like this is a lifetime lesson that is anyone can forget, even me, your parent.
Yeah, my number 1 is Emancipation.
Boom!
I really enjoyed that movie.
I have not seen that one,
dude. It's great. He is playing an African slave or a slave in the United States that's from Africa. Like he's got the accent and everything. And by the halfway through the movie, you don't even realize it's Will Smith anymore. Like it's not him, man.
Remember when it came out? I heard received a lot of critical praise. Never
really?
Got around to watching it. But I fully believe you.
It's good. Yeah. There's some pretty intense scenes in there. I wouldn't recommend it for like a family movie night or anything.
Probably a tough one.
Yeah. But it's a great movie, great cinema. It's good. Did you have an honorable mention?
Honorable mention. I had I Am Legend. I did put that one down. Yep, I did.
Classic.
I did like it. I liked the emotional scene. It's not like just every scene's not just like super dramatic or anything like that from an acting perspective, but the really emotional scenes, the dog scene, the God conversation with the mom, those they hit. They're good. They're really good.
Pizza.
I can't believe I'm feeding into this.
He gave in.
It's the chef's kiss.
So pizza. Oh, okay. Mine was Gemini Man. You ever seen Gemini Man?
Is that the one where he's got like the clone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's clone is himself. Yeah, so clone
I haven't seen it, but I remember seeing the previews and stuff for sure.
Yeah, there's some pretty good acting in that, I think. It's just it's an action sci-fi kind of movie, but it's a serious role. He's not like Bad Boys goofy kind of Will Smith.
Yeah, it's not like
Hitch, he's not that Will Smith.
I think of like Independence Day,
he's
where it's
I Am
like
Legend Will Smith in a sci-fi
action hero, but like comedy.
Yeah, yeah, it's good though. It's decent.
Yeah.
It's decent. That's why it's an honorable mention. All right, we got to keep moving on, guys. And so it is now time for my favorite segment. It's time to play
Cinema Trivia.
The rules are simple. Me and my co-host ask each other movie trivia questions, 3 questions each. Best out of 3, with the off chance there is a tie, which happens a lot. We will go into overtime. So I'll start this off. Colby, are you ready for your number 1?
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. What is Indiana Jones' real name?
Not the actor?
Not the actor.
Oh, no.
The character's real name.
Oh, no.
I think I might have finally got one.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes.
Can I get a hint?
Yeah, you can get a hint, of course.
But I do not know.
You're not going to like this hint, though. It's his dad's name.
Is it Howard?
You're close. If you can come up with it in the next 2 guesses.
Is the last name Jones, at least?
Yeah.
So it's not Howard Jones, is it? Is it Hugh?
Nope.
Is it Harold?
Nope. All right, you can't. Too many guesses. It's Henry Jones Jr.
Oh, goodness.
That's why in the third one he calls him Junior all the time. He's like, it's not Junior. He's like,
we
named the dog
Indiana Jones movies, and I am embarrassed that I did not know that.
It's okay, man.
Sorry, team.
It's all right. What you got? Right. What's my number 1?
All right, you're number 1. All right, what do the actors Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Cesar Romero, and Joaquin Phoenix all have in common?
Did they have a brother that died?
No.
Were they raised by gypsies?
I wish.
I have no idea. I got no idea, dude.
Think about it. What do the actors Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, and Cesar Romero all have in common?
They never won an Oscar. I don't know if that's true.
I think some of them have won an Oscar. Think about it.
Dude, this is a hard one.
No, it's not.
Oh, did they all play the Joker?
Yes! No, it's not.
I'm sorry. Why you do this to me, man? It's so much stress.
Most popular villain of all time.
Oh, my God. And that was number 1. That's the first question.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm serving you up.
Oh, God.
All right, what's my number 2?
Okay, number 2. What movie from 1975 was considered to be the first summer blockbuster?
1975?
First.
Jaws.
Yeah, there you go. Jaws, that's right.
Yeah. You're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah, this year was actually the 50th anniversary of that movie. So
love the original Jaws. Love it.
It's a good one. Way better than the sequels.
Yeah.
All right.
So, for number 2, Kathy Bates imprisons a book author in the movie adaptation of what Stephen King novel?
I know the movie is called Misery.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nailed it.
Sometimes they don't use the same title, so I was scared.
Yep.
Yeah,
good job not overthinking it. Yeah. Right on the money.
Okay, cool.
That's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Super messed up.
Yeah.
To theme with Stephen King, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of it seems like a damaged individual, but I guess we got some good content out of it.
All right, number 3, Trace. What is Edward Norton's character name what is Edward Norton's character's name in Fight Club?
Tyler Durden.
Nope.
Yeah, it is. They're
No, it's not. Edward Norton's character's name.
I thought they're both Tyler Durden.
Well, they are, but one is Tyler Durden, the other one isn't.
What? I thought they're just both him. Oh, no. Can I get a hint?
I mean, I gave you a hint on the first question.
I don't know. I thought it was 100% Tyler Durden.
So this is going to blow some people's minds that are listening to this. This is good trivia. Okay. He's never named. Yeah, I got you, bro.
You dirty dog. You dirty dog.
Oh, I had to look that one up too. I was double checking and everything. And even in IMDb, under Edward Norton, his character where it says
he's nameless.
It says narrator because that's all he is.
Wow. So Tyler Durden, it was 100% a fictional figment of his.
Yes.
Of an unknown man's imagination.
But it wasn't his name. Food for thought.
Don't like that.
So I think I won this one, maybe? Sounds like I won this one.
Oh, no.
Wait,
okay.
Did I already got 2 right?
So I am 0 for 2, and you are 2 for 0.
I think I won. Finally.
We got to finish, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. What'd you get for number 3?
All right. What legendary pop star judges a fashion walk-off between Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson in Zoolander?
Dude, that's like us. Like right here. It was the guy with he's a singer that from the 70s.
Getting warmer.
Yeah, he's got 2 different colored eyes.
He also, tidbit. Nope. I'll save that.
You gonna help me out?
Nope.
His name is Good Night. Why can't I think of it? I'm blanking, man. I know it. I know it. It's driving me nuts.
Super famous.
I know. Give me a second. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I know this is killing people that are listening to this right now. They're like, dude, come on. Why I'm blanking so bad, dude. I see his face. Know exactly who he is. Why?
You want a hint?
No, I know who he is. Just say the name. Whatever, Colby.
Do you want a hint?
No, I know it's fine.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Come on.
I knew that. Oh,
Come on. He did not know that. Do not let him lie.
I don't know why. I did know that. I described him.
No, he didn't.
Anyways. All right, you ready for the overtime question?
Ready for my... Oh, wait. It's not overtime.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know it's not, but we still have the questions saved, so...
Okay.
We can just roll into them. We do it every time somebody
go.
wins. Which movie was the first non-English language film to win an Oscar for Best Picture? I know you like Oscar questions.
Non-English? Best Picture?
Best Picture. Oscar.
Did it, yes or no, did it come out after 2000?
Yes.
Apocalypto.
No.
Parasite?
Parasite, yeah.
Okay, but I still, Apocalypto would have been my official guess, so I can't get credit
fine.
for it.
It's good. So,
But
yeah.
I guess I already lost anyway.
It doesn't matter. What was the overtime question you had for me?
Ooh.
Oh, you didn't plan one. You thought you were going to win, didn't you?
No.
Stinker.
No. I don't have one.
Oh, come on.
I'll do better. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
What is the second and last fantasy movie to win Best Picture at the Oscars?
Fantasy movie? Was it Lord of the Rings?
Nope. I'll give you the director.
Sure.
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh. What, Pinocchio?
Guillermo.
Pinocchio?
No.
Oh. Didn't he do Pinocchio?
I don't know.
It was like a recent Netflix movie. Maybe that wasn't him. Oh, he's the Spanish guy, right?
Yes.
He's the Spanish
He's
director.
the guy who did Hellboy.
Labyrinth. Is it
He
Labyrinth?
did Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
It's not Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, then I have no idea.
The Shape of Water.
Oh,
Have you ever seen it?
I
It's
never
actually
saw it, but
it's actually beautiful.
it's a good movie?
It's really good.
Okay.
It's really good. It's like it's one of those. It's like you kind of just based on the aesthetic of it. You know, you don't. It's supposed to be just like weird and kind of like you don't take it like super emotionally serious, but then it'll hit you and you're like, oh God. Like,
I'm not supposed to be crying at this
kind of
movie.
out of nowhere. Yeah, you're like, oh, I did not think I would be able to find that situation beautiful. Like, wow.
Yeah, a woman falling in love with a fish.
Yeah, no, 100%. You're like,
Right?
oh my God, I can't believe this is getting to me. Like,
All right, this portion of Cinema Trivia is for all the listeners, viewers, spectators, film fanatics, and movie buffs. I'm going to ask you a question about a film, and you have to figure out the answer. This will be a part of the podcast from now until the show ends, so listen closely and see if you know the answer. What is the name of the gem that Rose drops into the ocean in the movie The Titanic? If you think you know what the answer is, leave a comment. Also, if you want to shout out, make a post on Instagram with the hashtag FilmFanPodcast. In your caption, put the answer and which episode of Film Fan you're listening to, and also put where you're from. If you do this, I will try my best to give you a shout out on the next episode. Colby, thank you for joining me, like always. Is there anything you want to end with?
Check us out at Film Fan Podcast on Instagram. If you like the show and want to help us out, which we need, please give us a high rating, 5 stars, on whatever your preferred streaming platform may be. Also, we have links in the description to all of our gear. If you're creative and interested, please check it out.
Yes, yeah, you can find where we use these microphones and all this stuff, computers and whatnot.
We need money.
Yeah, send us money. If you're listening on the Spotify podcast, swipe up and shoot us some comments. Lastly, subscribe if you're seeing this on YouTube. Let us know what movie we should review next. We look forward to hearing from you guys, and that's a wrap. We will see you next time on Film Fan.
Thank you for joining us, guys.